Yo, what up everybody, it's your boy the Kryptonian Satan here, bringing you a review for One Piece chapter 653, and we got some nice bit of world building going on here. You got more of the subplot. Looks like Oda's going to kick this one further down the can. Guess he's trying to figure out a way to kind of set this one up, but it kicks it further down the can by saying, well, maybe that bomb will malfunction and it won't blow up in front of Big Mom, and the Straw Hats won't have openly declared war on Big Mom, even though Luffy's done it. And Robin's saying, what are you guys whispering about? So, I mean, again, Nico Robin's on guard. So, I mean, it just shows you Luffy's crew's looking out for him, even when Luffy himself doesn't know that they're doing it. The world building comes when we learn that Nami gets a new log post, and the way that this log post operates is you have 3 needles that are going, 2 are going to hold steady, and 1's going to flicker. And at that point, it becomes on the navigator. It's up to he or she to determine what is the correct course of action to take. And that's when Luffy says, oh yeah, hey, that one sounds really neat. And Luffy, of course, wants to go the more dangerous path. And Nami is starting to freak out. Usopp as well. And I like the fact that you just get that whole dynamic between the Straw Hat Pirates. How Luffy's saying, but I'm the captain. And Nami's just like, look, I'm the navigator. Trust me. And it's kind of like that scene where when Luffy and Zoro and Sanji, they're carrying the treasure. And Luffy says, which way to the sweets factory? And Zoro's like, yeah, we're going this way. And Sanji says, okay, it's definitely this way. It's the same thing, because if you were to put Luffy and Zoro on a ship together, it'd be just like what we got early on in the series, where they're kind of floating along, and that's how they end up finding Buggy the Clown. That's how they end up meeting Nami, because they didn't know where the fuck they were going. So it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. If they didn't have Nami, they'd still be floating around the ocean somewhere out in the East Blue saying, is this the Grand Line? Are we here yet? So, I mean, I like what you get here. I like the subtle sense of tension that you're getting here. This is another one of those interaction chapters that I could probably see people getting very pissed off over the fact, because it's one of those chapters you didn't get a lot of action. And you're coming off such an action-heavy arc and a very politically charged arc, and I can see how that turns off a lot of shonen fans, that it's probably 40% action and 60% politically charged, and you're dealing with more social issues and everything, so I can see how that kind of turned people off if it did. But what I also liked is the fact that at the end of this chapter, you see, or towards the middle of the chapter, you see how one of the fishmen tells his kids, like, oh no, we can't go to the surface. You got people that hate us up there. And the kid's like, oh really? Well, what about the Straw Hats? And he catches himself and he says, like, hey, you got some that don't like us, but you got some who are really nice like Luffy. Not all humans are like that. So again, when the Straw Hats go to an island, they change things a little bit. So I like this. I like what you're seeing here. The new generation, they got a dose of reality, but at the same time, they're being put on that optimistic track. So I like what you saw there, and I like how Jinbe is just kind of watching and overseeing everything. And at the same time, I'm a little worried about Jinbe, because he said it when he was speaking to Neptune. He said that I have to disavow myself from Big Mom, but it's going to lead to consequences. And Big Mom will burn down an island just because she didn't get her sweets. What the fuck is she going to do to Jinbe if she ends up getting betrayed by him and he joins the Straw Hats, and all of a sudden that treasure chest just blows up in her face, or blows up on her island? I think it was called Cake Island. What's that going to do for Jinbe? That's a dangling thread out there. So I'm wondering where Oda's kind of taking that one. But what I also found really interesting is the fact that Shirahoshi is saying, well, you know, Luffy, next time you see me, I want to see a real forest. I want to take a real walk. It's not going to be to see my mom's grave. I want to be on the surface. And Luffy says, yeah, that's a promise. Just like he made that promise to Laboon. But in this time, it's all the Straw Hats where they say promises are until death, Luffy. What's our role in all of this? And I like how all the Straw Hats kind of get there, and Shirahoshi's just, you know, crying, and Luffy's, and he's not saying it, but in his actions, he's just like, look, you got to suck it up. You got to suck it up. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We're always going to be friends. So I'm always going to be there for you. I can't stay another day, month, or year, but when we meet again, It's gonna be on and popping. Everything gonna be good, right? And I like how as they start going towards the surface, Luffy's just looking, and he has this beautiful shot. Oda has this beautiful shot where Luffy's looking up and he's seeing Shanks, and he's having that flashback, and he's going, oh man, you know, Shanks want me to give his hat back to him when I become a pirate. I'm gonna see Shanks again. We're gonna be on the same seas as Shanks. It's gonna be so awesome. And it's just like, I would love nothing better. Nothing better. This is one of the few times I'm gonna contradict myself from what I've said in the past, but I would like nothing better if the way One Piece ended was Luffy just said, Shanks, here's your hat back. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. If like Luffy finds the One Piece and then Shanks arrives just a little bit too late and Luffy gives the hat back to him and that shit just ends. That would be absolutely beautiful, man. That would be a very beautiful ending to me. But I like how, you know, all the Straw Hats get the little clips in there and like, yeah, Luffy, the Thousand Sunny can take you where you want to go. Nami's like, I'm going to navigate all the seas. Zoro's just like, to the new world. And I like the Zoro and Sanji interaction, how they have a little back and forth. And you get this one moment where Sanji warns Zoro. He says, you better watch your ass next time you sit down and eat. You better learn what happens. You're going to learn what happens when you piss off the cook. And that is some real shit. I don't know if Oda pissed off a cook at some point, but that is some real shit. Like, my mom does catering and everything. That's part of like the family business, and that is some real shit. Like, and my grandmom used to work in kitchens and everything, and I can tell you horror stories. Like, I mean, like my mom's business don't do that, but like with my grandmom, like, you know, she used to tell me stories when she used to babysit me about how people would, you know, get their food fucked with. It wouldn't be her, but it'd be other people in the kitchen. They'd intentionally mess with your food if you fucked with one of the waiters or something like that. So, I mean, there's some truth in that. You know, like, that's one of the things, like, when I go out to eat, I always make sure, you know, hey, and, you know, part of it, and I did retail for a little bit, so, I mean, I always treat people with the utmost respect, and I always try and give a little bit of leeway, because when you're getting that bad service, or you get that waiter that looks like their head somewhere else, it isn't necessarily, they're not disinterested in you or something like that. They might have 15, 16 different tables, bunch of orders, a whole bunch of shit going on behind the scenes that's outside of their control, and they're trying to figure out a way to get, you know, around whatever issue they got. Or it could just be something as simple as they're just starting out and they don't know all the particulars in and out. So I always try to be a little patient, because there are human error. There are days where, you know, you just show up to work and your head's not always into it. You know, they tell you to check your baggage at the door, but that's not always the case. And when you start nitpicking like that, chances are they're going to nitpick right back at you. And I like how Zoro's just like, yeah, fuck you, you twirly eyebrows, flame nose bleeding son of a bitch. And he's like, I want to see if I can digest razors. And this is like, Sanji's gonna put like a fucking transponder snail in your food, man. Or, you know what, he might actually put like a log poles in your food. That way you can actually navigate yourself somewhere. Like, this is gonna be interesting seeing their dynamic going forward. But my chapter question to you guys is, if you were to end One Piece, how would you have the final chapter end? So like the final panel, what would be in the final panel? For me, it'd be Luffy handing Shanks back the straw hat. But how would you have One Piece end in the final panel for the final chapter? But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Have a